Edelio López Falcón, 1965, the 6th of May 2003, commonly referred to as Edelio, was a Mexican suspected drug lord and former high-ranking member of the Gulf Cartel, a criminal group based in Tamaulipas, Mexico. Prior to his involvement in drug trafficking, López Falcón owned a flower business in Miguel Alemán. He was part of the cartel during the 1990s and was a trusted enforcer of the former kingpin Gilberto Garcia Mena. López Falcón's role in the cartel was managing drug shipments from Tamaulipas to the United States. Security forces believed López Falcón was not a violent crime boss. He preferred to indulge in his personal interests, which included promoting music and entertainment, managing his restaurant chains, and running his horse breeding business. After joining the cartel, he continued to pose as a legitimate businessman to keep a low profile. In the late 1990s, López Falcón encountered problems with Garcia Mena, who sought the support of the cartel's leader Ogiel Cardenas Guillem to oust him. López Falcón broke ties with the Gulf Cartel and forged alliances with the Sinaloa, Milenio, and Juarez cartels. The Gulf Cartel reportedly blamed López Falcón for the April 2001 arrest of Garcia Mena and plotted to kill him. He fled to Nuevo León, where he established his center of operations. López Falcón survived an attempt on his life a month later, but he was killed in Guadalajara in May 2003. His murder remains unsolved, but investigators believe his killers were probably members of Los Zetas, the Gulf Cartel's former paramilitary group. Personal life and career. López Falcón, who is commonly referred to by his nickname Edelio, was born in Miguel Alemán, Tamaulipas, Mexico, in 1965. Before becoming involved in drug trafficking, López Falcón owned a flower business in Miguel Alemán. He later joined the Tamaulipas-based criminal group the Gulf Cartel and worked as a smuggler under the kingpin Gilberto Garcia Mena, El June. López Falcón and Garcia Mena worked with the drug trafficker Fidelio Hinojosa, El Choco, Ricardo Garza Manriquez, the former Miguel Alemán Public Security Department head, and Zeferino Peña Cuellar, Don Zeef, the former head of the Miguel Alemán Municipal Police. In the Gulf Cartel, López Falcón was reportedly responsible for coordinating drug trafficking shipments from Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas, to the United States. In 1999, the Secretariat of National Defense, SEDENA, identified López Falcón as a rising drug smuggler. Security forces suspected he kept a low-profile status and posed as a businessman. He used the pseudonyms Gilberto Salinas and Edelio Flores to hide his real identity. López Falcón's cousin Orlando López Salinas, El Rollis, was reportedly his personal assistant. López Salinas acted as López Falcón's personal bodyguard and head of his security services. Murder operations conducted by López Salinas were ordered directly by Garcia Mena. López Falcón allowed this because he preferred not to be linked to that part of the business. According to Mexican security forces, López Falcón was not known to be a violent criminal leader. He reportedly avoided ordering murders, preferring to focus on drug trafficking and his other interests, which included promoting ranchera music and entertainment, cockfighting, managing his restaurant chains, and equestrianism and horse breeding. His affinity for breeding fine horses earned him the nickname, El Señor de los Caballos, English, the Lord of the Horses. López Falcón was one of the wealthiest people in Miguel Alemán. He owned multiple properties, including an estate known as the Bougainvillas, Spanish, Las Bugambilias, where he hosted the city's anniversary parties and multiple horse racing events. Garcia Mena and the Miguel Alemán mayor Raúl Rodríguez Barrera sometimes attended these events. Other invitees include local officials, members of the Mexican military, and bettors from across Mexico. Authorities suspected his horse breeding business was a money laundering front and that he used a straw person to manage it. One of López Falcón's last public appearances was on the 22nd of June 2000 when he was seen at the opening of a restaurant in Monterrey. 9 pictures of the event were leaked to the Monterrey-based newspaper Diario de Monterrey 2 years later. López Falcón appeared with multiple people, including the Nuevo León governor Fernando Canales Clarion. Other attendees included the Santiago mayor Eduardo Manuel Garcia Garza and the priest Alejandro Leal, who conducted the inauguration blessings. López Falcón was with his girlfriend Maria Eugenia Garza Diaz, the daughter of the restaurant owner. When López Falcón was not attending his businesses in Tamaulipas, he spent his time in Texas, where he reportedly continued to run drug trafficking activities. According to the Texas Department of Public Safety, López Falcón was a legal U.S. resident and lived at a house in Houston with a female named Yolanda and a male named Roberto Perez López. Security forces suspected that López Falcón used Houston as a safe haven. He had a criminal background in Houston where he was identified as an illegal people smuggler. On his Texas driver's license, his name was listed as Edelio López Falcón. He was listed as being 1.75 meters, 5.7 feet tall and weighing 83 kilograms, 183 pounds. His date of birth was listed as the 26th of June 1955, whereas in Mexico his year of birth was listed as 1965. The U.S. driver's license was once suspended by a Texan judge. López Falcón was released on parole and was reissued with a new license with the same Houston address. New alliances. López Falcón and Garcia Mena began having disagreements in the late 1990s. The differences started after López Falcón began diversifying the Gulf Cartel's portfolio and started smuggling cocaine to the U.S. from Tamaulipas. Garcia Mena primarily smuggled marijuana through this corridor. Garcia Mena sought support from Ogiel Cardenas Gillen, the top leader of the Gulf Cartel, to try to oust López Falcón. López Falcón sided with López Salinas and sought the support of rival organized crime groups. In mid-2000, López Falcón and López Salinas met with members of the Sinaloa cartel and brokered the drug deal without the Gulf Cartel's approval. López Falcón eventually left the Gulf Cartel and formed an alliance with the Sinaloa cartel, which promised López Falcón larger profits in exchange for allowing them to smuggle drugs in Tamaulipas. This prompted Garcia Mena and the Gulf Cartel to fully cut ties with López Falcón and his group. López Falcón forged an alliance with the Sinaloa cartel, Milenio cartel, and Juarez cartel, which operated as a triangle organization. In 2000, the Attorney General's Office, PGR, confirmed an alliance between López Falcón and Arturo Beltrán Leiva, a kingpin who had ties with the drug lords Ismael, El Mayo Zambada and Ignacio Coronel Villarreal. According to information provided by a United States Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, López Falcón also worked closely with the Milenio cartel kingpin Armando Valencia Cornelio. López Falcón was reportedly the Milenio cartel's main intermediary in Monterrey, Nuevo León. Investigators also believed López Falcón allowed the Milenio cartel to smuggle drugs from Nuevo Laredo to Texas. Intelligence reports, however, indicated Valencia Cornelio did not fully trust López Falcón because he believed he was a law enforcement informant. To defend himself from the Gulf Cartel's front, López Falcón also sided with Dionisio Roman Garcia Sanchez, El Chacho, a former state police officer and head of a Nuevo Laredo-based smuggling group known as Los Chachos. Los Chachos had an alliance with the Triangle organization López Falcón worked with and helped them smuggle drugs in Tamaulipas. Los Chachos also helped López Falcón's group fight off the Gulf Cartel's forces in their turf. In his new role, López Falcón continued to pose as a legitimate businessman. He was tasked with ensuring his new organization had political support and protection from the police, especially because they were operating in a locale they were not originally from. To gain political support in northern Mexico, López Falcón's new leaders tasked him with finding an influential politician to support them. López Falcón reached out to the National Action Party (PAN) politician Mauricio Fernández Garza, who was running for governor of Nuevo León in 2003. According to Fernández, López Falcón contacted him in early 2003 for a meeting. López Falcón once visited his office to deliver several suitcases filled with US dollars. The money was reportedly intended to help Fernandez finance his campaign in exchange for his political support and permission to operate in Nuevo Leon should Fernandez win the election. Fernandez said he did not accept the money. Downfall. On the 22nd of September 2000, the Gulf Cartel carried out an armed attack against López Salinas in Miguel Alemán. He was injured in the attack, but his chauffeur Héctor Arias was wounded. The attack was presumed to be carried out on Garcia Mena's orders. 5 days later, 6 gunmen were arrested in Ciudad Camargo, Tamaulipas, following an anonymous tip provided to the Tamaulipas State Police. In their confession to the police, the gunmen said they were hired by López Salinas and were from the Sinaloan cities of Culiacán and Guamuquil. They also said they were stationed in Nuevo Leon and ordered to make incursions into Tamaulipas. This alarmed the police of the presence of organized crime members from other turfs outside Tamaulipas. On the 27th of November 2000, the Miguel Alemán Rural Police Chief Pablo Gaetan Mejia was murdered by 4 gunmen, presumably on López Falcon's orders. Gaetan Mejia was reportedly a close friend of Garcia Mena and helped facilitate his drug operations. After the attack, Garcia Mena's henchmen killed the 4 gunmen. Fearing for his life, López Falcón fled Miguel Alemán and settled in Monterrey. His family fled the area after learning about his issues with Garcia Mena. López Falcon's estate was abandoned, but he continued to visit the city discreetly. On the 9th of April 2001, the Mexican army arrested Garcia Mena after a week-long manhunt in Guardados de Bajo, Camargo. The Gulf Cartel suspected López Falcón plotted against him by informing Mexican authorities of his whereabouts. They also believed the way security forces raided several properties containing drugs and the house where Garcia Mena was hiding was unusually specific, which led them to believe López Falcón had betrayed them. The Gulf Cartel thus carried out a search to kill López Falcón and others aligned with his faction. To increase law enforcement and media attention against López Falcón and several of his accomplices, Cardenas Gillen's lawyer Juan Jesus Guerrero Chapa leaked a false rumor that López Falcón was part of a new Nuevo Leon-based criminal group known as the Monterrey Cartel, Spanish, Cartel de Monterrey, to the national press in mid-2001. This media strategy was also employed to help ease the increasing law enforcement pressure the Gulf Cartel was experiencing in Tamaulipas following the arrest of Garcia Mena and to help refocus their efforts against Cardenas Gillen's turf competitors. Federal and state officials later stated that the Monterrey Cartel did not exist. Assassination attempt. On the 13th of May 2001, López Falcón attended a Vicente Fernandez music concert inside a cockpit arena in Guadalupe, Nuevo Leon. At around 4 a.m., approximately 14 gunmen from the Gulf Cartel's former paramilitary group Los Zetas stormed the arena searching for him. Authorities confirmed that the gunmen were carrying AK-47s and .38 caliber firearms, identified themselves as members of the army, and ordered people to stay on the ground. The gunmen entered the arena and fired their guns into the air to create confusion among the attendees and force López Falcón to flee outside, where the gunmen planned to kill him. Surveillance videos captured López Falcón in the front seats of the event sitting next to a blonde woman. He was able to leave before the gunman entered the arena after his bodyguards alerted him of the presence of armed men outside. López Falcón had at least 20 bodyguards posted inside and outside the arena. He left the premises escorted by his gunmen and by merging with the crowd of concert attendees. He did not suffer any injuries. Outside the premises, Los Zetas shot at multiple vehicles and injured a bystander, but they failed to kill their intended target. Authorities initially suspected Garcia Mena ordered the attack as retaliation for López Falcón's alleged involvement in his arrest. Other authorities suspected Cardenas Gillen ordered the attack because he saw López Falcón as a threat to his hegemony and wanted to eliminate the competition on his turf. Investigators stated the Gulf Cartel was tracking López Falcón's whereabouts in Nuevo Leon and were reportedly close to killing him at his home in Monterrey days prior. Upon discovering that López Falcón was planning to attend the event that night, the Gulf Cartel mounted an operation against him. Prior to the attack, López Falcón was a relatively unknown crime boss outside his area of influence. Los Zetas was also a newly formed group within the Gulf Cartel and was not well known outside Tamaulipas. The attack catapulted to fame both Los Zetas and López Falcón to national attention. Among politicians, the incident raised worries about the presence of drug lords in Nuevo León and the alleged existence of the Monterrey cartel. On the 3rd of June 2001, a picture of López Falcón sitting in the arena seats was published by the Monterrey-based newspaper El Norte. A few days later, an anonymous citizen issued a memo to the PGR and El Norte with pictures of López Falcón accusing López Falcón of being in public places in Miguel Alemán with armed men and that local authorities did nothing to stop him. Authorities suspect this memo was submitted by his rivals. Later that month, the PGR and Nuevo León authorities confirmed López Falcón did not have a pending arrest warrant or a formal indictment at a federal and state level. Both levels of government agreed to work together to formally start an investigation against López Falcón's alleged criminal activities. PGR investigator Mario Roldan Carino opened an investigation against him. Roldan Carino, however, was murdered on the 21st of February 2002. Aftermath and manhunt following the assassination attempt, authorities increased their efforts to arrest López Falcón, one of the most wanted criminals in northern Mexico. On the 5th of June 2001, the Mexican army carried out a secret operation in Miguel Alemán, and Camargo to arrest López Falcón and suspected Gulf Cartel trafficker Edelio Garcia Peña, El Huracán. They raided multiple properties, including 2 houses in tied to Garcia Peña, a ranch owned by Garcia Mena, and a property in Camargo, where they seized 345 kilograms, 761 pounds of marijuana. The army also set up a checkpoint in front of López Falcón's estate but did not raid it. The PGR confirmed the drugs were not linked to the traffickers for whom they were searching and 1 person was arrested in the operation. The operation lasted less than a day. The federal troops returned to their barracks before midnight. Local authorities supported the measures carried out by the army and the PGR, and stated that they expected more secret operations to be carried out in the area in light of the growing presence of organized crime activity in northern Mexico. On the 4th of August 2001, a shootout between López Falcón's and López Salinas gunmen broke out outside a cockfighting arena in Reynosa. According to police reports, the gunmen got into a verbal dispute at the parking lot of the arena after the Bobby Pulido music concert ended. 3 people were injured in the attack. Authorities drew similarities with the shootout in Nuevo León months prior in which López Falcón was targeted. On the 30th of October 2001, approximately 14 gunmen stormed an estate in Monterrey to kill Peña Cuellar. 1 person was killed and 2 others were injured, but Peña Cuellar was not present when the incident occurred. According to police reports, the attack may have been ordered by López Falcón as vengeance after he discovered Peña Cuellar had started the rumor that López Falcón was responsible for Garcia Mena's arrest. Security forces suspected that by framing López Falcón, Peña Cuellar wanted to earn a high-ranking position within Cardenas Gillen's chain of command. Garcia Mena had originally framed López Falcón as his informant and blamed him for his capture. On the 20th of November 2001, López Falcón's bodyguard Juan Martínez Torres, El Banano, was kidnapped in Miguel Alemán. A few days later, López Falcón's lead accountant Jaime Barrera Peña was also kidnapped. Police suspected they were probably kidnapped by Cardenas Gillen's faction. On the 28th of November 2001, 18 gunmen broke into an estate owned by Raimundo Garza, a suspected Gulf Cartel member, in Cadereyta. The gunmen killed 1 of the property guards and injured 2 children. The PGR and the Mexican army raided the property a few days later in search of López Falcón, and continued their searches in Monterrey to arrest him and several of his associates. including Mario Ramirez, La Gana, and Rene Garcia Solis, La Pata de Gara, Raimundo's sibling. The attack was reportedly carried out on López Falcon's orders because Rene was linked to Peñacuellar. The gunman mistook Raimundo's estate for Rene's. On the 13th of May 2002, the Gulf Cartel kidnapped López Falcon's associate Garcia Sanchez in Monterrey. He was tortured and killed, and his corpse was abandoned in Nuevo Progreso, Tamaulipas, a few days later. Killings and attacks between the Gulf Cartel and López Falcon's faction continued in Nuevo León through the rest of the year. The escalating dispute between both groups led to additional military deployments of the Mexican armed forces in Tamaulipas and Nuevo León. Closing in on López Falcon in late 2002, authorities seized multiple drug shipments reportedly owned by López Falcon's group. On the 9th of October 2002, former Tamaulipas State Police Chief Carlos Gonzalez Pomats was arrested in Houston with 100 kilograms, 220 pounds of cocaine from López Falcon's group. The following day, federal policemen stationed in China, Nuevo León, arrested suspected drug traffickers Jorge Calzada Garcia and Patricia Rodriguez Madrigal, who were in possession of 33 kilograms, 73 pounds of cocaine in a vehicle. In their police confession, Calzada Garcia said he was hired by a man named Edelio, who went by the alias Edelio. He said he did not recall this man's last name. Policemen suspected he was referring to López Falcon. Calzada Garcia was paid $4,000 to transport the drugs. He said he was told to collect the vehicle filled with drugs at a shopping center in San Pedro Garza and drive it to Reynosa, where he initially brokered the deal and received the vehicle's keys from Edelio. Rodriguez Madrigal said she was not aware of the drug deal. The couple was driving a Peugeot that was bought in the state of Jalisco but had Tamaulipas license plates. Investigators began investigating a drug link between Monterrey, Reynosa, and Guadalajara. While facing the judge, however, Calzada Garcia retracted his statement and said he did not recall the exact name of the man who hired him. He said the man's name was Edelio Ramirez or Rodriguez, that his nickname was La Yea, and that he lived in McAllen, Texas. This was the second largest drug seizure in Nuevo León in 2002 and showed the PGR López Falcon was likely operating in Monterrey and trying to take over the turf from Cardenas Gillén. Reynosa was generally considered a turf controlled by Cardenas Gillén. On the 14th of March 2003, the Mexican army arrested Cardenas Gillén in Matamoros. Prior to his capture, the Gulf Cartel experienced several major blows from law enforcement crackdowns, including the arrests of some of Cardenas Gillén's lieutenants such as Garcia Mena, Aiden Medrano Rodriguez, Ruben Saucedo Rivera, and Jose Manuel Garza Rendon. Authorities believe Cardenas Gillén's possible successors were Peñacuellar, Victor Manuel Vázquez Mireles, Gregorio Saucedo Gamboa, and Jorge Eduardo Costilla Sanchez. They reiterated that one of the major targets was López Falcon, who they regarded as one of the top 3 Gulf Cartel leaders in the past 2 years. They said unlike other gangs like Los Chachos, López Falcon had the operational capacity to confront the Gulf Cartel. The Army and the PGR thus refocused their efforts to apprehend him. They feared he had become one of the leading drug lords in northern Mexico and South Texas. They also suspected he no longer lived in Tamaulipas and had relocated to Nuevo León, where he reportedly owned several money laundering fronts. Death on the 6th of May 2003, 2 gunmen murdered López Falcon in a restaurant in Guadalajara, Jalisco. The gunman sat at a table close to López Falcon, who was having breakfast with horse breeder Oscar Alejandro Coker Preciado and an unidentified woman. López Falcon finished his food and chatted for over an hour afterwards. When he ordered the check, the gunman stood up and began walking towards the restroom. On their way, they passed next to the table where López Falcon was sitting and shot him from behind. Investigators confirmed López Falcon was shot 3 times in the head at point-blank range and died at the scene. According to investigators, López Falcón arrived at the restaurant after being dropped off by someone else. He had no bodyguards with him. Authorities requested the closure of the restaurant until further notice so evidence from the crime scene could be gathered. López Falcón was at the restaurant discussing the purchase of a purebred horse, which he wanted to take to one of his ranches in Texas. Coker Preciado and López Falcón had previously met in Texas and Monterrey. Coker Preciado was unharmed in the attack but suffered a nerves breakdown and was attended to by emergency staff when they arrived at the scene. The other person who was eating with them left moments before the murder. A police officer guarding a nearby bank heard the gunshots. He thought a bank robbery was underway and called for reinforcements. The Guadalajara Municipal Police were the first to arrive at the scene. They discovered López Falcón's body sitting next to his table. When he died, López Falcón had with him 4 cell phones, a push-to-talk device, $1, 260 and MXN $6, 200 in cash, several credit cards, his Texas driver's license, a Rolex watch, a gold ring and necklace, and a business card from a McAllen-based construction company. Investigation. When news of the murder was made public, it was not known that the victim was López Falcón and/or a suspected crime boss. Preliminary reports described the victim as a businessman from Monterrey. Rumors the businessman was a crime boss, likely López Falcón himself, began circulating. Mexican authorities doubted the victim was López Falcón because they thought it was unusual that he was in Guadalajara, which was far from his center of operations. Investigators had information that he was hiding in McAllen. López Falcón's identity card named him by his alternate first name Edelio. Jalisco authorities suspected the victim was probably López Falcón, and federal authorities did not discard this possibility. His identity was confirmed by the Jalisco authorities on the 8th of May after they cross-referenced his identity cards with information federal authorities had on file. Jalisco authorities confirmed that López Falcón had no pending criminal charges in Jalisco but said he was suspected of being involved in drug trafficking in Tamaulipas and Nuevo León. The same day, Jalisco's Attorney General Gerardo Octavio Solis Gomez confirmed the PGR was taking over the case and placing it under federal jurisdiction. The case would be headed by the Specialized Unit Against Organized Crime, UEDO, one of the PGR's former branches. State officials requested the PGR's assistance on the case because of López Falcón's criminal profile and his alleged involvement in drug trafficking, a crime that falls under federal jurisdiction. The UEDO said the investigation would also include the charges of illegal possession of military-exclusive firearms and organized crime involvement against the suspects. They were expecting Jalisco authorities to open a separate homicide case under state jurisdiction. Federal authorities asked state officials to withhold information about the case from the public and recommended secrecy in the investigation. The federal government dispatched troops from the Federal Investigation Agency, AFI, and the PGR to Guadalajara. They were planning to increase security in Jalisco and Nuevo León to prevent a violent response from organized crime groups. López Salinas was the suspected successor to López Falcón. Authorities believed a turf war between his faction and those aligned with Cardenas Gillen was a possible aftermath. The UEDO also took Coker Preciado to Mexico City for questioning. Coker Preciado confirmed to investigators that there were 2 gunmen in the attack and that they escaped the crime scene in a white vehicle. Eyewitnesses said López Falcón's killers were dressed in white and walked away from the scene after killing him, but most were unable to provide investigators with physical descriptions of them. The policeman at the bank said he saw the gunman. He was the only person who provided the PGR with this information. Some eyewitnesses said a woman arrived at the restaurant moments after the murder to inspect the scene, but investigators could not link her with López Falcón. At the scene, investigators discovered 2.45 pistol bullet casings. According to the PGR and Sedena, their main line of investigation was that López Falcón was killed by members of Los Zetas on Cardenas Gillen's orders. They suspected Jesus Enrique Rejan Aguilar, El Mamito, Heriberto Lascano, El Lasca, Luis Alberto Guerrero Reyes, El Guerrero, and Oscar Guerrero Silva. El Winnie Pooh may have participated in the murder. Before joining organized crime, these men were members of the Mexican Army's Special Forces Air Mobile Group, GAFE, and were hired by Cardenas Gillen as part of his security circle. Another line of investigation suggested López Falcón may have been killed by a gambling group within the horse racing or cockfighting industries. He was known for gambling millions on these sports, and the police believed the method the gunman used to kill López Falcón was one not usually used by Tamaulipas-based criminal groups. The police did not discard the possibility López Falcón may have been betrayed and killed on orders of the Milenio cartel's leadership circle, or by members of Los Texas, a Nuevo Laredo-based gang that was a rival to both López Falcón and the Gulf Cartel. Body handling and funeral. López Falcón's corpse was first kept at the Forensic Medical Service in Jalisco, where authorities expected his family members to reclaim it. They wanted to interview his relatives about the case. On the 8th of May, a man who identified himself as López Falcón's nephew telephoned the morgue asking how to reclaim the body, but he did not arrive in person. Another man called the morgue asking for similar details. He grew angry at staff and told them he would forcibly take the body if they did not give it to him. This incident alarmed authorities and forced them to guard the morgue and López Falcón's body using security forces from Guadalajara metropolitan area, the Jalisco State Police, the PGR, and AFI, until further notice. On the 9th of May, López Falcón's sister traveled from Roma, Texas, to Guadalajara to confirm the identity of the corpse. She was accompanied by her two attorneys to start the body reclamation process. The Edelio interviewed his sister before meeting with the Jalisco Institute of Forensic Sciences, who gathered her blood samples and conducted DNA tests on the body. The test results were expected to be ready in 1 or 2 weeks, and Jalisco authorities stated that the corpse would not be given to relatives until their family link was confirmed. The PGR were responsible for setting the date when the body would be given to López Falcón's family. After the DNA tests, his sister returned to Texas and awaited the notification from Mexican authorities. The police thought his family would hold a wake in Miguel Alemán or Mexico City, and that López Falcón would be buried in Guardados de Arriba, a rural community in Miguel Alemán where his wife, who died in the 1990s, was buried. On the 11th of May, the Secretariat of Health approved López Falcón's transfer. His corpse was flown from Miguel Hidalgo International Airport in Guadalajara to General Lucio Blanco International Airport in Reynosa. The body was then transported to the U.S. and sent to a funeral home in Rio Grande City, Texas, where it was prepared for burial. At Roma's Ciudad Miguel Alemán International Bridge, the Mexican Army set up a checkpoint to search for suspicious vehicles and individuals with drugs or weapons. They questioned drivers about their destination and purpose of their travel, and were wary of vehicles with license plates other than Tamaulipas and of luxurious vehicles. A wake and mass were held on the 12th of May. His sister said López Falcón would be buried in Roma on the 14th of May. At the morgue and funeral, his family asked the local police to control attendees' access. Visitors were eventually allowed to visit López Falcón's services, but the police did not allow the media to access the area. Multiple corrido and mariachi songs were composed for López Falcón and played during his funeral. See also List of fugitives from justice who are no longer sought. List of unsolved murders. Mexican drug war. Footnotes. References. Bibliography. Ravelo, Ricardo, 2012. Ociel, Vida y Tragedia de un Capo, in Spanish. Penguin Random House. ISBN 978-607-310-7716. Grayson, George W., Logan, Samuel, 2012. The Executioner's Men, Los Zetas, Rogue Soldiers, Criminal Entrepreneurs, and the Shadow State They Created. Transaction Publishers. ISBN 1412846117X. Correa Cabrera, Guadalupe, 2017. Los Zetas Incorporated. Criminal Corporations, Energy, and Civil War in Mexico. University of Texas Press. ISBN 978-1477312773. Brooke, John Lee, 2016. Blood Plus Death. The Secret History of Santa Muerte and the Mexican Drug Cartels. SCB Distributors. ISBN 978-1909394223. Osorno, Diego Enrique, 2011. El Cartel de Sinaloa, in Spanish. Penguin Random House. ISBN 978-607-310-2346. Valdez Castellanos, Guillermo, 2013. Historia del Narcotráfico en Mexico, in Spanish. Penguin Random House. ISBN 978-607-1127-129. Gomez, Maria Edelia, Fritz, Dario, 2005. Con la Mirada al Bolsillo, SEIs desafradas Historias del Narcotráfico en Mexico, in Spanish. Planeta Group. ISBN 978-97037000271. Giaguiar, Jose Carlos. Suarez de Garay, Maria Eugenia, 2008. Policía, Seguridad y Transición Política. Acercamientos al Hadir del Mexico Contemporáneo, in Spanish. Universiteit van Amsterdam. Center for Latin American Studies and Documentation. ISBN 9070280493. Marley, David, 2019. Mexican Cartels. An Encyclopedia of Mexico's Crime and Drug Wars. ABC Clio. ISBN 9781440864766. OCLC 1096213037. Further reading Daybert, Michael, 2014. In the Shadow of Saint Death, The Gulf Cartel and the Price of America's Drug War in Mexico. Roman and Littlefield. ISBN 1493010654.